And 3, 2, 1, we are live tonight, Facebook Live, April 15th. Bradley and John here with immigration law firm of Gardner and Mendoza.
Good evening, everyone.
How's it going?
Everybody hanging in there?
Hopefully so.
I know it feels like forever. It's been a month.
What are we? We're week 5, right?
Yeah.
Week 5. We're hanging in. We're finishing strong here. It's a very interesting time, and I hope that you guys have questions today, concerns, anything you have. Just put them in the comments, and we will get to them. Okay?
Yeah, hang in there, everyone. Be patient. We made it this far. We can't give up and quit now. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna do this.
Oh, quitting is not a choice. It's powering through just amazingly strong. That's basically what's going to happen. So tonight we are going to talk about updates, USCIS and court closings updates. We're going to be taking questions from you all, of course. We're going to give you an update as well on driver's licenses for the undocumented here in Virginia. Hello, Joseph. How's it going? And we're also going to talk about other bills that are pertinent to you all. Question of the day. We've got a great question of the day. And an exciting announcement.
That's right.
Excellent.
But before we talk about any of that, I want to just explain very quickly this beautiful piece of art behind us was by an artist named Joyce Kaufman. And we bought this in San Antonio, Texas, probably 15 years ago.
It would have been, Sammy is 14, so it would have been about 13 and a half, 14 years ago.
Anyway, it was our first, one of our first American Immigration Lawyer Association conferences, and we went strolling after dinner one night and saw it in a window of a closed gallery, went back in the morning and made an offer. Next thing you know, it was here.
Absolutely.
Hello,
Ms. Villar.
We're not sure. We've looked at it many times, and we're still not quite sure what it is. But we love the color.
It's abstract. It's abstract art. The really funny story about this painting is our oldest at the time. She was maybe 5? No. She was 2 and a half, and she loved to draw. And when we put it up, she said, "Did I do that?"
She thought it was one of her.
She thought that she had painted it. She's a very good artist. Anyhow, okay.
All right, let's get to some business here.
Okay, so why don't you go over the court closings?
Oops, sorry about that. Dropped that. Okay, so just a brief update for those of you who know. The courts have been closed for the most part. There are some exceptions. I'll talk about those in a minute. But the governor's state of the emergency order, which runs to June 10th, as most of you know, and the courts are officially closed. Cases are all being continued, anything between now and April 26th, with the exception of arraignments, bond hearings, bond appeals, emergency protective orders, and determination of counsel hearings. Okay, and some other very limited things, but that's the gist of it for the most part. But there was an announcement today from Judge Lon, who's the chief judge right now in the General District Court in Virginia Beach, that criminal cases, including DUIs, he has directed the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office to reach out to the defendants and counsel for any case that's going through now on June 10th in anticipation that they won't be able to reopen, and asking the Commonwealth's attorneys to start rescheduling those with the assistance of defense counsel until sometime toward the end of June. So if you have any kind of a criminal case or if you have a DUI, something of that nature, you might want to check, because your case, even if it's going through May and into June, it is very likely now going to get continued to the end of June. If you just have a regular case like a speeding ticket, don't get me wrong here, those cases you want to still be checking the docket, because those are not officially being continued. But criminal cases and DUIs, even if they're in May or anytime after April 26th through June 10th, those cases are likely going to be continued now till sometime the end of June. Okay, that's the update with regard to that. Also, if you have a civil or criminal in-person hearing of some sort in federal court, that's the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District down there on Granby Street, the Walter Hoffman Courthouse, beautiful, beautiful old building. If you have a case in federal court, those cases also now are being, if you've got anything between now and June 10th, those cases also are being postponed. One other exception is for folks who are in custody. Some of those cases, with the person has no bond, they're in custody. The judges are trying to make accommodations, obviously, to hear some of those. And of course, consult with your attorney. Don't fail to show up in federal court because you heard me say it here on Facebook Live. Okay, make sure you contact your attorney and make sure. Okay, but those are some of the updates about the court closing. What it tells me basically is we knew April was gone. It's now looking like May is also going to be gone. So if you have a criminal case pending in May and you've been worried about it, stop worrying. You don't have to deal with that problem until June probably. Okay?
All right, stop worrying. I love that advice.
Yeah.
Some of our people are on here. Isabel's on here. It's our old roomie. How's it going? Chris Tabule, gosh, haven't seen you in a long time. Are you still in France? Send me a message, please. Let us know how it's going. We have a question from Rashawn here. He asks a question for John. Where can I get the NAICS code to fill up my PPP application? I'm putting that in the comment. This is where we get our codes. So let us know if you have any problems with that at all. Okay, this is where we got it, right?
Yeah, and you know what? When we're done, if you could email me separately and let me know what bank you're going through. My email is jcg@gmlaw.net. Okay, and then I'll be happy to help you find out where you are in the process, what you've submitted so far, and then we'll go from there. Okay, shoot me an email tonight.
Great question. They're still taking those, right, honey?
Yeah, well, they are. There's word that this money's drying up maybe tonight or tomorrow. But even though the talk stalled in the Congress for the moment, I have a feeling they're going to extend it because it's just been a very, very popular program. And they went through the $349 billion. They've done it pretty quickly, but there are a lot of small businesses out there who really, really need the help. And I just can't believe that the Congress is going to leave them hanging. I think they'll, as they always do, they'll fight, and then at the 11th hour, they'll figure something out. So I anticipate they're going to add more money. So if you have a PPP, totally, we're all over the place here, but if you have a PPP application that you're considering applying, submitting, or if you've already submitted one and you're thinking, oh, well, I never heard anything, don't give up on them. I would absolutely move forward with it. Even if you read in Forbes or Bloomberg tomorrow that the PPP money is gone, I would still absolutely get your application in hopes that they're going to add more funding to it through the SBA, and that when those new funds become available, that you'll be able to get them. So, yeah, shoot me an email if you have questions about it. Okay, and for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, the PPP is the Paycheck Protection Program. It was part of the bill, the law that Congress passed. They started accepting applications on April 3rd, but it's intended to help small businesses cover their payroll costs during this shutdown so that they can stay open and keep their employees. All right?
All right. Excellent.
Okay, we've got a question here. I heard they're suspending asylum petitions due to COVID-19.
Hey, Johnny, how's it going? I have not heard that. That doesn't mean that that's not true.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're talking about affirmative asylum filings. Is that correct? Give me a thumbs up if that is.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that, but
I think I did see a blurb about that, and I'm sorry I should have printed off the article. We'll see if we can find that out as well.
Yeah, you really should have. Way to make me not know the answer to this
question.
I know.
No, I feel like I saw, I don't know if it's an official policy or whether they are just turning folks around and not letting them come in and apply or not. I'll find out. She'll find out.
My bestie's on.
Oh yeah, look at that.
How's it going, Amy?
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hope you're staying safe and healthy. Call me. All right, call me because these extreme measures, right? I'll pick the phone up. So, update on USCIS closings. They have not updated anything through the last update, which was they're closed until at least May the 3rd. Again, USCIS is open. It's operating. They're not seeing clients in person, customers in person. So no biometrics, no in-person interviews, no N400 interviews, any interview or anything that's going to require face-to-face, you're not going to be able to do it. So someone sent me a message and said, hey, what about my biometrics notice? What about my interview? So those are all getting rescheduled for now. And so at least until May the 3rd, and that's only in a couple of weeks. So we will keep you updated every single week, and sooner if there's more current news. And also, wait, what was I going to say? Did I forget? Oh, yes, no, I didn't. We have been getting rescheduled notices already. So I've seen an interview rescheduled for as soon as May the 13th. Now, could that be changed again and pushed back? Absolutely. It's been, we keep getting descheduled notices from immigration, and then they'll send us another one where it's got another date, and then the more they push it back, we're going to just keep getting different notices. So we're getting mail. USCIS is open, processing cases. So for those of you who, again, I know I say this every week, for those of you who are thinking about waiting until all this dust settles, our advice, our educational advice, our lawyers tell us to say this is for educational purposes only, and not legal advice. It's not legal advice. So you too, Chris, stay safe. Basically you should file. You should file right now, get ahead of the other curve that's going to go like this once this dust settles. This is the immigration curve,
no doubt,
when things calm down a little bit and everybody is going to file. So please file now if you think that you are ready to do that.
And on that similar note, with regard to cases being rescheduled, criminal and traffic cases as well, if they're coming up on the docket right now, what's happening is they are automatically getting continued, and each jurisdiction has each city has a different way of redocketing cases that they follow. But the bottom line is those cases are getting continued. I'm getting cases that are now getting set in June, some in July, August. I even have one that got set out as far as September. So if you have a case right now and it's a standard case where the court is closed, let's say you have a no operator's license or a reckless driving case or something of that nature, you know for a fact that the courts are closed right now and your case is, say, tomorrow. After your court date has passed, then you can find out what your new court date will be. We're obviously keeping our clients apprised of those dates as soon as we know them. But if you don't have a lawyer, feel free to contact me. If you send me an email, give me your name, I will gladly go into the system and find out for you and save you some time, okay? And again, my email is jcg@gmlaw.net, all right? Because you got to make sure you find out when your new court date is, because you don't want to miss the rescheduled court date for sure.
Hello, Connie. Hello, Hilda. Thank you all for joining us. We're so happy to see you. And it's just not our moms on. I haven't seen our moms tonight.
Yeah, no, usually it's our moms and aunts, but we've got other folks tonight. That's
no,
fantastic.
you guys come out. We appreciate it. We're just teasing. All right, so that is the update on USCIS closings with regard to embassies, U.S. embassies, and consular offices abroad. It depends on the embassy, but for the most part, generally speaking, very, very limited services. So I have some clients, of course, who are waiting for their interviews and they're very anxious. So we're watching it very closely. If you have a specific embassy that you want to ask me about, you can send us a message and I'll be happy to look that up and make sure that we have the most updated information. But again, very limited services right now. It's typically for U.S. citizens, emergency services, and so that's pretty much how it's going with all the U.S. embassies abroad and the consular offices. So that is that with regard to the updates. Mm-hmm. I think that we don't have any other court closing updates, correct?
Not courts. I just want to remind everyone, I'm sure most of you are following the news. You probably saw today Governor Northam extended the initial executive order number 53, which was the temporary restriction on certain restaurants and other businesses. That was extended until May 8th of 2020. And of course, the second executive order, which was the stay-at-home order, That's number 55. That is in effect until June 10th, okay? But the original order that was set to expire on April 23rd has now been extended to May 8th, okay?
All right. So,
And if you have any questions about what those orders specifically say, you can just Google them. Just Google, Executive Order number 55 Virginia, and then you can read it, the entire order yourself, and see exactly what's in it. Okay.
it's really long.
Yes, but there's
some bullet point.
there's a lot of detail in it though.
Okay, excellent. All right. Hello, Miss Linda. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. All right. So, John, you want to talk about the driver's license bills and the other bills that are happening right now or have happened?
Yeah. So one thing that's been going on, if you've seen some of our previous Facebook lives, then you know that one of the issues that we talked about was SB 34. That's Senate Bill 34. I'm not going to rehash the entire thing right now, but essentially what this was is a bill that will give driving privileges to folks in the Commonwealth who up to this point have not been able to get a driver's license because of not being able to show lawful presence in the state, okay, or in the Commonwealth, I should say. So this bill, it passed through the General Assembly. It went to the governor. We anticipated that it would be signed into law, and I still think it will be. He had set a deadline for himself of 11:59 p.m. on April 11th in order to take some action on it. And on that date, he made some recommendations. I don't know specifically what they were, and his recommendations were received by the Senate on April 11th. So presumably there's some sort of fine-tuning or tweaking that's going on, and it'll come back to him, and then he'll sign it into law. And I think we have some stuff posted up on that, don't we, on our Facebook page?
Yeah, we do.
About what, if you go there, you can find some more of the specifics about what the requirements are going to be. So if you're not a U.S. citizen, you're not a permanent resident, but you still want to get a Virginia driver's license, you can't get a full license under this bill, but you will be able to get a driving privilege card starting January 1st, 2021, assuming the governor signs it. And again, I'm sure that he will. I think this is some sort of a small procedural tweak.
Right. Okay. Got some other exciting things happening, right, in the governor's office?
Yeah, similarly, House Bill 972, this is a marijuana possession bill. As you all know, the General Assembly has been very busy since the balance of power tilted. A very similar thing, deadline of 11:59. And here the governor also made some recommendations. I don't know exactly what they were. They went back to the House for them to consider and tweak before he signs it. But essentially what this will do, this is yet another step. When I first started practicing law in Virginia, possession of marijuana was a Class 1 misdemeanor. Just like any other Class 1 misdemeanor, it was punishable by up to 12 months in jail and a $2,500 fine or both. Somewhere along the line, they changed this. They've been making it less and less severe. And what it has been up till very recently is that if you have just simple possession, then it's a mandatory, a maximum 30-day jail sentence and a $250 fine. So, or a $500 fine, excuse me. So if you had just possession of marijuana and you were found guilty of it, the maximum penalty was a $500 fine and a 30-day jail sentence. This now is going to loosen it even more, House Bill 972, and make simple possession a civil penalty only and a $25 fine. So if you just have possession of marijuana, you can just mail on a fine. It'd be like a speeding ticket, something along those lines, okay? This is the next step. I anticipate that at some point down the road, Virginia will probably make that very last step like states like Colorado have done, which would be the complete legalization of marijuana. We're not there yet, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not in that debate. But I just want to keep everyone apprised that assuming the governor signs this one as well, and I think he will, then if you just have possession of marijuana, it's a $25 civil penalty only once that becomes law. Okay.
Okay, so that's all well and good. Barbara Griffin is here. Barbara Griffin, former associate attorney at Gardner Mendoza. Dawn, our neighbor, is here. How's it going, guys? Barbara, I have an immigration question to ask you, since you're an immigration lawyer in Akron, Ohio. We've got this marijuana possession, and it's may not be a big deal anymore in Virginia. But is it going to be a big deal for immigrants who are applying for the green card, immigrants who are applying for U.S. citizenship? What do you think, Barbara?
Barbara
says hi.
She's no doubt like in Shrek. She's right now going, pick me.
Barbara knows the answer to this question.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
She does know the answer.
So, honey, why don't you just continue with this marijuana discussion? What is the answer to the question?
Okay.
So Barbara's not typing right now. She doesn't seem to be answering the question.
She knows the answer.
She knows the answer. All right.
So the answer is, it is still a potential immigration problem. So be super careful here if you're not a U.S. citizen. Okay, if you're a U.S. citizen and you have marijuana and you want to pay the civil penalty, that's fine. Okay, but if you're not a U.S. citizen and you are convicted of possession of marijuana, you have a potential immigration problem on your hands, because just because the Commonwealth of Virginia has taken steps toward legalizing marijuana or decriminalizing marijuana does not mean that federal immigration law will recognize that decriminalization or legalization. Okay, so yes, Barbara has entered her answer here. Yes, it can be a big deal depending on the amount of marijuana, and she's absolutely right. It can be a big deal. So if you're not a U.S. citizen, my advice would be to not possess marijuana. Okay.
Right.
All
yeah,
right.
that's good advice. Yes,
Okay.
it can be definitely a big deal, especially
That actually is legal advice.
especially if you are applying for the green card. It makes you inadmissible. It makes you ineligible to get that green card if you have 30 grams or less of marijuana. Now, I believe I kind of weighed this out, what 30 grams looks like. Not like in real life, but just kind of visually. 30 grams is a lot, right? Did we conclude that it's a lot?
It's
It's a good amount. It's a good amount. So
I wouldn't know.
So 30 grams or less of marijuana, otherwise it could stop you from getting that green card. Even admitting to possessing or using the marijuana can be a problem. So an admission can be a problem. I had a case like this many, many years ago, and my client got something called deferred action. He was coming back into the United States. So even if you're not applying for the green card, if you leave the country as a lawful permanent resident, this particular client was coming back in, and they said, hey, whoa, you've got this possession of marijuana. It looks to be perhaps more than 30 grams. We're going to give you something called deferred action. And he said, okay. So they did not allow him to come into the United States as a lawful permanent resident. They paroled him in. He had to go to our local immigration office to get inspected, and for the inspector to take a look at the charge. And would you believe that I went and they said no, I couldn't go in there with him during this inspection because that's the rule there. And my client did not come out of that immigration building. He got arrested. So he
No bueno.
we worked it all out, but not until after he spent probably 90 to 120 days in jail for us to work it out. And it was a major stressful case. Can you imagine? So this person was on his way to becoming a professional, graduating from local university, and this terrible thing happened to him, and it was quite shocking to him and his family. But it worked out, but he went through a lot of pain in order for us to get through this. So please be careful, even if Virginia decriminalizes possession of marijuana. No.
Yeah, and while we're on
even applying for citizenship, it can be a problem.
While we're on this topic, and I don't want to completely careen off the road into this immigration consequences of criminal convictions.
This is
realm.
very important. Careen away. It's so important.
I've been reading a lot of stories and anecdotal evidence from a friend of mine who is a magistrate in Norfolk that domestic assault and batteries across the country are skyrocketing right now, no doubt, because all these people spending time alone or home together who maybe haven't spent that much time together before. But in any event, they're on the rise. And that's another really, really, really dangerous thing for a non-U.S. citizen is domestic assault and battery. So if tensions are running high in the home, take the dog for another walk, do some yoga, whatever you need to do, spend some time apart, but don't let it escalate into a bad situation, because domestic assault and battery, calling the police seems like a good idea that night, but it creates a lot of trouble for you down the road. So my advice is to just take a deep breath, okay, and avoid that.
John takes a lot of walks with the dog. Yes, but on this, just on the other side of that,
she does yoga.
if you feel like you need to call the police, then in a domestic situation, obviously you should. But John is correct in saying that it's an issue for many of our clients.
Right.
Okay. So someone asked, I am on the web for my residence and my husband will be my sponsor. Do I have any problem if I receive help from the government because of COVID-19? So my question back is, what type of help? And presumably you're speaking about the public charge, the form I-944, which essentially penalizes is not the right word. We'll just go ahead and use penalize. But it looks at an applicant's financial situation, and if that applicant used any type of government service, now it's very specific as to what it is, then that can be an issue in that applicant getting lawful permanent resident status. So my follow-up question to that is, what type of help did you receive as an applicant for the green card? There's not a lot of help that you can receive if you're not a U.S. citizen. So let me know what type of help you're talking about, and you can send me a private message if you'd like, and we'll be happy to answer that question for you. But that's still an issue. The public charge rule is still in effect, and I know a lot of people are asking about, hey, what if I filed for unemployment? That is not a problem for the public charge rule. So that should not be a negative factor in your case. And by the way, if you did receive a type of government help that would be a problem for you under the 944, it is just one factor. So if it was for a very temporary period of time, let's say for 2, 3, 4 months, and then you stopped using it, and by the time that you got to your green card interview, you no longer were on that, and you had a job, and all these other factors, that's just one factor in the equation. So again, please get the help that you need. Yes, that could be a problem. Reach back out to me, send me a message, and I'll let you know if you tell me what kind of help it is, and I'll let you know if it could be a problem. But again, remember, it's just one factor. So
yeah, if you need to get tested for COVID-19, do it. I mean, USCIS is specifically saying they won't hold that specifically against you. And also regarding the unemployment, for those of you who missed us last week, again, want to just throw out there that in Virginia, you can file for unemployment if you have a social security number and a valid work permit or a work visa. Okay, so if you don't have those things, you're not going to be able to get unemployment benefits. Okay?
Right. Okay. So I did this in practice, right? I didn't do this in real life here. Question of the day. Did I do the question of the day? Yeah.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. I practiced the question of the day today. So we practiced a little bit. We definitely talk about what we're going to talk about. So the question of the day is, has USCIS provided any guidance about extending one's status in the United States due to coronavirus? So what this person is talking about, they said, look, I know what you're saying, that I should file an extension of my status because, say, my B1, B2 tourist visa I-94 is about to expire, but where's the guidance on that? So USCIS just recently, very recently, April 13th, published their guidance about applying for an extension, as well as applying for an extension prior to the expiration of your I-94 and after the extension, after the expiration of your I-94. So it's there. It's exactly what we've been saying for the past several weeks, that yes, you do have to do something in order to extend that status. You can't just let that lapse and then ask for forgiveness later. So from the beginning, we've been recommending that applicants file for an extension of status or change of status. That's the I-539 form. If you guys need help with that, let us know, send us a message. We will guide you through that. So that is the official guidance from USCIS, that yes, you have to file the I-539. And if you are on a visa waiver, then there's something special that you have, and you need extension of that. So visa waivers are only able to come here to the United States for 90 days, and then they have to leave. And there are no you cannot do an I-539 as a visa waiver or the ESTA. And so you need to call the 1-800 number, USCIS number, and ask for 30 days, additional 30 days. And if that runs out and you still can't go home, then you'll have to do that again and they'll renew that 30 days. So that is happening locally here at the immigration office. They are doing those. So wait, are they doing them at, they may be doing that at the CBP, but they are doing them. They are granting the extensions of the ESTA. So if you need that, then definitely let us know if you need help with that. But hopefully it'll be pretty straightforward.
That is a great question. I'm glad that somebody submitted that so you could answer it. And I want to say hi, Rose. We are so happy you and Steve are feeling better. Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
We have been praying. Okay.
Okay, so another question is, I want to know if I could change my case, which is in Miami, and I want to change my case to Virginia since I'm residing here and I am married here. Definitely, you need to change the case. You have to change the case because your interview is going to be locally anyway. If you've already filed, I'm not sure if you filed already or not, but if you've already filed, that would simply be updating USCIS through the AR-11. You can Google that, AR-11, USCIS.gov, and you'll be able to do an online address change. You have to do it for every single form that you've filed. So if you filed the 485, 765, and the I-131, you have to do it for every single one of those as well. The petitioner has to change their address as well. So if you have not filed yet, then your case is going to go depending on what your address is. So if you're already here in Virginia, you put your Virginia address down, that's something that's going to happen automatically. So hopefully I answered that question. All right.
Okay.
Excellent questions.
Yeah.
I love questions. It just keeps me on my toes.
Okay, that's wonderful. You're really, really good at answering them.
Oh, thanks.
But while you're looking at the next question that may be coming in, I wanted really quickly, regarding the legislative updates, there was one that I realized that I forgot, and that was Senate Bill 935. This doesn't deal with crimes. This deals with in-state tuition, and this was signed by Governor Northam on April 7th, and this becomes effective on July 1st, 2020, okay? And essentially this, I'm not going to go into the details because it's a fairly dense piece of legislation, but the bottom line is it makes students eligible for in-state tuition in Virginia, regardless of their citizenship or immigration status, so long as they meet all the other requirements that any other person who's seeking in-state tuition would have to meet, okay? So that is a huge change and a really, really a big deal, and it's a really good thing, all right?
All right. Do we have any other questions?
And I think that one
So
had,
far.
if I'm not mistaken, that passed with bipartisan support, just to give you an idea.
Excellent, excellent.
All
Fantastic. So I'm not seeing any other questions pop up here. Nope, I'm not.
We have a question here. Exception for GRE and SA. Yeah, the legislation itself specifically deals with other things other than just attending a high school here for 2 years, okay? It's Senate Bill 935. If you Google it, you can read through and you'll see exactly what the requirements are. Or again, you can...
What does that mean,
you
exception?
can email. I think he's talking about is there an exception if you have taken an SAT or you have a
GRE?
right?
Yeah.
And rather than having attended high school here.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I think that we should jump into our exciting news. I think that's where we are in this. No, we're not having another baby.
No.
Actually, we are. We're having the other office baby.
That's right.
Yeah, so the exciting news, we're super pumped up about it, is that we are opening an office location in Newport News. So for those of you in the area, driving to Virginia Beach, if you're in Newport News, is like driving to California and vice versa. Like going through that tunnel is a major pain. So for our clients and our future clients who are in Newport News, we will be there on that side of the water, which we're super, super pumped up about.
Yes. Yeah.
And the office is going to be at City Center at Oyster Point. The address is 11815 Fountain Way. And so we're really excited. That's going to start on May the 1st, although we already have a phone number for that. But for those of you who want to see us there, see attorney there, then please, please, please give us a call. We'll be happy to. With regard to coronavirus right now, thank you so much, guys. We're really, really pumped up about it and excited. It's a big step for us, and we've been talking about it for probably a couple of years now. And my whole family, cousins, extended family, we have a lot of friends. They live in Newport News, and so I'm sure they'll be bringing me food when I'm there. Hopefully, my cousins, but they're all there. Probably 1,000. I probably have 1,000 cousins now, right?
Yeah.
But it's a vibrant immigrant community, and we're just excited to go and serve and open up the Gardner Mendoza brand on the other side of the water, the Peninsula. So we're pumped up. So yes, we are having a Newport News office baby. Let me just make sure that's we're saying that.
Yep.
Very carefully, because we don't want anyone to think we're having the other kind of baby.
And sorry, a minute ago I was skimming that legislation again, seeing if I could get a quick answer. But there's a lot there to digest. So email me and I'll give you a better answer on that. Okay. But yeah, we're very excited about going up to Newport News, the Peninsula. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah.
Some people say, why would you open an office now? Because we like to double down.
That's right.
We like to double down. That's what we like to do. we're super pumped, and it honestly could not come at a better time. So hopefully all the Peninsula folks out there, you guys will come and see us and come and support the law firm.
Yeah, the tunnel traffic can really be a nightmare, and so it's our way of just trying to come to our clients rather than having them come all the way down to see us in Virginia Beach.
Right, we do have a lot of clients from Newport News.
Yeah.
And we're excited about serving you on your home turf. All right, well, I think
any other questions?
I don't think we have any more questions. Nope. We really appreciate all of you guys coming on.
Yeah.
Really appreciate your support. How's Texas? Hopefully you guys are staying safe.
Mm-hmm.
Kinjal's on. Hi, Kinjal. Thank you. Octavius. We went to high school together. Okay, so you know what? I want to just quickly end with some words of hope. And my cousin sent this to me, and Luella. I-O. You say I-O. O-H-I-O.
I didn't see it. I-O.
Yeah, in Ohio, apparently, if someone says O-H, then another person who's also from Ohio says I-O. It's a kind of a spelling thing that you guys got going on.
It's Ohio. It says hi in the middle.
Yes.
That's the other one.
The H stands for humidity. Anyhow, so my cousin, they sent us this. Basically, it was a card, and it says social distancing is hard, so we want to say hello from afar. Sending you lots of love. Stay positive. Better days are on the way. In the meantime, remember, you are. And it just goes through this list of things, and it was so cool. It made us feel really good. Beautiful, unique, loved, special, created for a purpose, lovely, precious, important, forgiven, a new creation, protected, and empowered. So I want to share that message with you all, and Ruben and Luella, thank you so much for sending this to us. And
they're such great people.
They're awesome, and it just made our day to receive this. And these are the things that we have to remember. It's tough. It's hard. Reading the news, I can't even do anymore. the stories are pretty devastating when you look at them. But we have hope. We have hope that things are going to go back to near normal. I know that we probably have to protect ourselves a little bit more in the future, but all of these things that we all are, and we're all in this together. That's what I have to keep reminding us, that we are all in this together. So
just keep calm and carry on.
Absolutely. So double thumbs up.
Okay, our wonderful attorney Sarah introduced us to the law firm, and we have made it a tradition now. We always end with a double thumbs up.
All right, guys.
All right, see you guys next
Take
time.
care.
Take care. Hang in there.
Bye-bye.